afternoon. Excuse don't mind the traffic noise. So lately, myself and plenty of other musicians, I'm sure, are smitten with all these new special price guitars and really wicked looking deals from China. And you know, I got some nice guitars, and so do most of my friends, but you just gotta wonder, eh? You just gotta wonder. Well, I purchased this little puppy from a friend of mine who's doing the same thing, and he bought a couple of them, and this is actually pretty cool. This is a 000 42 style guitar. Now, I guess it's styled from a Martin, obviously. It's obviously. And I added a pick guard and this thing here, the armrest, and that's about all I did. And I think I changed these. I had these, and they look nice. But you know, it doesn't say Martin on it. It's just a Martin, but it's got that Martin thing, that torch light inlay thing. But nowhere on it does it say Martin. So, although it's a copy of a Martin, it's not a Martin. It's not meant to be a Martin. It was never ordered in to fool anyone, and it's far from a Martin, actually. What it is a remarkably awesome little guitar for 400 bucks, and it's a great. It's a guitar that belies its price. They did a great job building it. Now typically, I think a 42 is supposed to have rosewood, where this is, I believe, is mahogany back and sides, and it's got gold Grover tuners, but I'm sure they're not real. But it doesn't matter. The guitar plays great right out of the box, and I like it. And it's fun. I even had a pickup installed, so the guitar, I'm into it for a little more for what it was paid for. These guitars are made in mainstream factories over there, the same factories that supply, like you know, probably Ibanez or LeCourt's Court guitars and all that stuff. And you know, for $400, it's pretty cool. And they do, and they're beautiful. They got the mother of pearl and all that. So it isn't really a scam. They really are pretty nice guitars. Now, this doesn't sound anything like a Martin. It has its own sound. Sounds great for the money, and it's fun to play. And I wouldn't say it's truly inspiring, because I have some high-end guitars, so it's really hard to be totally inspired by a guitar that, when I have one in the room over there that can, you know, do what it does. But that being said, and I don't know what the company is. I just, as far as I know, this is made in China. You know, one of those DHgate sites or AliExpress or whatever like that. I don't know, but thumbs up on that one. It's a pretty cool looking thing. Doesn't even look cheap. It looks quality. I'm very happy with that. However, that wasn't enough. So now Amazon has these guitars made by IYV. And these are terrific looking guitars. They make Strats, they make Gibson Les Paul style guitars, they make big body like an ES-125, which is what we're going to see here. And this guitar was marked down, so I don't know, maybe there's something wrong with it. But I'm telling you, in Canadian dollars, delivered to my front step today, this was $412 with shipping. 412 bucks. So we're going to unbox this now, and I'm going to tilt the camera down so you can see what I got here. The great big box, anyway, a big cardboard box. A lot bigger than I thought it would be. And I'm going to try not to slice myself open doing this. And this is an IYV, it's the 500. So it's a jazz guitar. Now, I'm not a jazz guitar player. Never will be. But it would be fun to play on a jazz guitar. So this was with a slight investment. It's a pretty guitar, we'll see, hopefully. I want to put some flat wounds on it and just practice strumming along some jazz chords, maybe inspired enough to write a song, without shelling out, you know, $3,000 or $4,000 for you know, a Gibson, an ES-125. Now, I suppose I could have got an Art Court, an Ibanez Art Court, which is probably comparable quality, probably better even. Excuse me. And they would have been, you know, $600 to $1,000 perhaps, you know, depending on the model, depending on how dolled up they are. I had an Art Court, looked like a Gretsch, you know, the orange finish one. It was great. I had that for quite a while. Well, look at that. I can see it in the box already. It's arrived. All 6 strings are intact. That's a good start. Now, I guess the remarkable thing about these guitars apparently is that they come out of the box almost in tune. I guess they're pretty consistent that way. The company that makes them insists that everything is made exact, because they're cut with CNC machines and the like all the abalone and stuff, whatnot, and the trim. And that's it. Well, it looks nice coming out of the box. I was expecting it to come out of those styrofoam boxes, but it didn't. And this is the guitar. It's got some heft to it, I'll tell you that. It's a little heavier than I thought it would be, but it's not that heavy in the box actually. So there's no big orange, yellow styrofoam. Well, the action's some low on this. I hope I don't have to adjust it too badly. Well, I'm telling you right now, at first glance, the sides are interesting. I'll show you that. Pull too hard to rip anything. There's no styrofoam. I'm kind of liking the fact that there's no styrofoam. I got to deal with that stuff, you know, when we unbox it and get rid of the styrofoam all the time. Okay. Hope I didn't move the bridge because that would throw the intonation off. Look at that. Now that's spalted maple, supposedly. And I tell you, that's not a sticker. That's not a print. Like, that moves. That actually moves. See the grain? You see the flame? Maple? It's called spalted maple. And I'm telling you, it moves. That's got dimension to it. Look, watch this on the camera. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? $400. Now, well, it didn't come in tune. We'll be coming back in a few minutes with that. The pickups say Destiny CNC wound. Well, I know the CNC cuts wood, but maybe CNC machines wind pickups. I don't know. And the chrome is nice. It's a carved arch top, and even though, like, I'm looking inside the pots and stuff. Yeah, they're not. I wouldn't exactly call them big pots, but it's some tidy in there. And look at that. There's no purfling inside. It's like a big hunk of wood that they curved to make the sides out of. And that's what I was going to show you. If you notice, it's probably the 300 model panels, and it's just doubled up to make it thicker, as you can tell, because the other model they have, the next line down, is the same. The top is a different style, but it's the same body shape, and it's the, you know, the thickness, you know, the thinner guitar. But at first glance, all I can tell you, look, it's even got a serial number printed on it. Isn't that neat? That's a step up. And I don't know if that's I think these are made in Vietnam. So I can't tell you for sure, but I don't know if that's Chinese, if that's Vietnamese. I don't know what it is. I know it's not English. But yeah, at first glance, this thing is gorgeous. Well, I'm back, as I said I would be. And this actually is the guitar that I received first. But this is a bit better. This is a great big heavy boat. I mean, it's heavy. It is heavy. Spalted maple veneer on the top. I'm sure it's a veneer. I'm sure it's not solid maple, but it's a veneer. It's got to be. But it's a fully maple. That was mostly mahogany. This one's mostly maple, if you see. And there's a few things about it that are kind of weird, and I don't know why they would do it. But once again, the quality. And I'll explain the reasons why I bought this in the first place anyway. I don't know how to play jazz. I barely know how to play guitar. But I thought I always wanted a jazz guitar, a big fat jazz guitar, and put some flat wounds on it. That's exactly what I did. It's flat wounds, and we'll get to that. And I didn't want to go buy, you know, an ES-175 or something like that. That's going to set me back about, well, $3, $4, $5 grand, and just to have fun with some jazz licks that I'm going to try and learn, you know. You know. Whatever, you know. So I got this guitar, and it turned out it's just like the other one. The action is incredible. I still think the action is a little closer on the other one, but this isn't far from it, and I can make it lower. There's no reason to make it. I can still play. I can bend the neck back, and it doesn't even buzz. So I could make it lower if I wanted to. I think the neck, although that was made of mahogany and this is made of maple, the CNC machine was set for the same neck, because they're virtually identical necks. The only thing is they cut the neck, the neck joint back. They, you know, that part, because on this it's kind of odd. You don't usually see this. It's a very wide body. Look at the size of that body, and you can see something I'm going to point out in a minute. But the neck, where it joins, it doesn't go all the way to the bottom. It only goes down to here, and the tuning, or the strap lock, the strap nut bolt was right there, and which is totally impractical because it's such a heavy big guitar that it'd just go like that. So I haven't done it yet, but I was either going to put it here with a block on the inside to receive the screw so it wouldn't rip apart the body from the sheer weight of the guitar, or actually just put it in the back of the neck like where all of my acoustics are. I haven't done it yet. I'll get around to it someday. I've never gigged with this yet or anything. Essentially, pickups and electronics, same thing. Same. They're called Destiny CNC wound, whatever they are. I'm sure they're not very expensive pickups, but they are definitely humbucking pickups, and they do the trick. This has a wooden floating bridge, not compensated, which I thought that's going to be a chore to intonate, because first of all, you got to intonate. All you can basically do when you intonate a guitar like this, you can intonate your E strings. Everything else in the middle is at the mercy of your E strings, because it's not a compensated neck end. Besides, that's just the way floating bridges work anyway. As it turns out, I mean, I once again on my strobo box, I have a Peterson. I have several of them, Peterson tuners, very accurate. They're strobe tuners, and they're very easy to set the intonation. This intonation was pretty well great. Once again, the buttons, they're like CTC pots. I mean, they feel like, the real deal, but they're just those little teeny pots in there, and the switch is cheap, but nothing is a problem. The neck, the fit and finish of the neck's incredible. Bindings all the way around. This has seven layers of binding on the front, and on the back it just has the single one. The tuners that are on this came with it. They're probably the same brand that were on the other one, but for some reason these are working really good. I see no reason to change them. I'm not going to put any money into this guitar either. These are for fun. If I put any money into a guitar, it would probably end up being the other one, because this is more of a fun box. Now, once again, like the other guitar, only even more obvious is that where they had this bursted, they should have just made the side wood. They should have just made it dark all the way around to cover up the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen on a guitar. And it has maybe it adds to its weight, but it's a very, very thick sides. Like, I mean, we're talking 3/8 of an inch anyway. Oh yeah, I wouldn't say a ½ inch, but it's close. And no purfling in there. It's just 2 pieces of wood were shaped and stuck together it's like a giant cookie, like an Oreo cookie or an ice cream sandwich. This is 2 pieces of wood slammed together with the tops glued together. But they weren't even long enough to get around the guitar. There's a splice here. You can see that in the camera? Look, I'm trying to get it in there. There's a splice in the wood. There's also one down here, and it's really obvious. Look at that. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. Why would they just wouldn't make it dark all the way around, and then you'd never see that, and you wouldn't really care? I can't tell. I see it all the time now. But really, it's got a nice acoustic sound for, well, not really, but... And I like big dreadnought guitars. And I put some, they're chromes by Diodario. Flat wounds, just to see what flat wounds are fun. It's kind of neat because you can, there's no, it's pretty neat. And just for the feel of them, just have one with it. So I will put the sound on here in a minute, but it's hard to judge. And both guitars have metal plates for the jacks. They're metal, and I'm sure they're cheap, but man, they're solid. And the bridges are quite heavy and robust. But look at the top, spalted maple with beautiful. Look at that. Look at that when I move it around. Look at this. It moves. It jumps straight off the page. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Still in tune. That's cool. So that's not jazz. Oh well. That was the bridge, by the way, not the neck. The bridge. Neck. And middles. Everybody likes the middle settings, and I get it. Anyway, I have nothing bad to say about these guitars. Take a look at that. This neck is flawless. There's not one fret out of joint. I didn't have to do any fret work to this thing. I mean, look at that. Look at the action. I could probably go lower and make it as low as the other one. I just haven't bothered. It was already good. And just, man, waste of time. I'm sure it's over 10 pounds. Got to be. And they don't come with a case, so you're going to have to get a case for like a J200. Like Epiphone makes one, so you probably get an Epiphone style, Canadian made, case for, $140. I likely won't get a case for this unless it becomes some sort of a special instrument for me and I start playing it live. I don't see it. Look at the headstock. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. Like the work and like the beauty of it. It's all mother of pearl. And I have real hard time finding fault. I can look, if I look close enough, like I can see like the bindings here are kind of weird. They look like they're a little crooked. I'll see if I can get it in the camera, but the bindings right there are kind of, but why would I complain about that? Like really, isn't that, see the wood? See the joint in the wood? Strangest thing. But why am I going to complain about that? If I'm going to sit here and go, oh, one of the frets is not perfect, or the tuners are less than spectacular, or the pickups don't have quite enough output, dude, it's $400. Out of the box, I can make a living on this guitar. I can only imagine what the rest of their guitars are like for people that want to buy a bunch of guitars. I have, like I said, I've got top of the line guitars. People know, and but I wouldn't be ashamed to take this to a gig anywhere. It just blows my mind. It boggles the imagination why the bone nut. What I did do is I bought before I really messed up, I didn't really have to. I just thought I would need to, so I bought online for $20. I got another wooden bridge with the bone inserted saddle compensated, and that was only $20 online. It's amazing. You can buy electronic wiring kits and all that. Now this guitar is a little bit tricky because there are F holes and stuff involved. I specifically had my casino rebuilt by a professional luthier because I didn't have the patience to install and remove all the electronics through the F holes and do the pickups and everything. And he did a marvelous job. Actually, he did a great job. But this is a full hollow body. What it has inside, and once again, it's really, really rough. I wish you could see it. I don't have the camera set up for it, but if you look inside, there's no. You can't. No, I can't even get you close enough to see that. But there's no purfling in it. It's just pieces of wood glued together, and it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty messy in there. You can see like gobs of glue down on the bottom, and it's not sanded. It feels like it was cut inside with a chainsaw. Literally, it's that rough. But the bindings around the F holes don't draw attention to anything. I'm not sure what the C means on the tailpiece. I'm not sure what that means. Cool. My daughter's name is Courtney. Maybe I'll call this my Courtney guitar. And once again, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It helps me out, gets the word out. I get my music videos. I have my podcasts. I have my roundabout show. I got guests on. Always got great. I always have content that I'm putting out on a fairly regular basis. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll be making another one soon enough. I might go through my collection of guitars and just start making guitar videos. But I was happy to unbox these two guitars from IYV. That's the name of the company. They're right in Vietnam. The new budget guitars that are coming out on the market now. They're all cut with CNC machines. They didn't have CNC machines to the quality that they have now back in those days. I mean, they should be able to take a seasoned piece of wood and replicate 1,000 guitars within a thousandth of an inch, all being identical. That's the world we're in now. So I like having a brand name guitar. There's badge envy. I have a couple beautiful Gibson acoustics, and there's nothing more proud than me taking those out of the case at a gig I'm playing sometime, and strap one of them on and play. And anybody in the audience, you can tell any musician that's out there, they know I can tell them apart because they're looking at my guitar and they're looking at the headstock. They know what I got. But I'm telling you, $300. It's amazing what $300 buys you now in a guitar. I'm happy to be in the world that sells the $300 and $400 gem. I mean, unbelievable. Yeah, well, there you go. Maybe they could do that with my car. That's, one can only hope. Peace out. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you with another video, whether it's a music video or a guitar video or a shootout video or a mic shootout video or whatever it is. You'll see me again soon enough, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a great day, folks. See you on the next video.